Whoa! Hey, everybody. Andy here. Thanks for joining me tonight. We've got, well, hold on a second here. I've got a little audio playing back in my ear. Can you hear me? Can you hear me out there? Everybody out there, let me know. Is the audio going? Is the audio going? All right, we're just checking. And of course, I've got feedback. Bear with me here just a second, everybody. Okay. I'm checking to see if we're live. It looks like we're live. Salmon Outdoors. Can you hear me? All right. I think we're ready to go. I'm jumping in. Welcome tonight, everybody. My name is Andy. This is Andy Parrish Outdoors. We are going to do a live stream tonight. It should be a lot of fun. I've got some new friends on board that joined me from our last hike in the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. They've hiked together. I've not hiked with them previously, so we had a good time spending a weekend getting out on trail. We're going to talk about that tonight. And much like our conversations on trail, I wouldn't be surprised if this goes off the rails just a little bit or just a lot of bit. I want to say hey to everybody out there in the chat world. I see you guys out there. It looks like it's a pretty active group already. Feel free to ask questions. We will try and keep track of the chat as we go through. So I know the guests are watching the chat. I'm watching the chat. So as we see stuff, we will comment and play along, answer questions, all that fun stuff. Also tonight, I wanted to say a special thanks to Apex Giant, who is our sponsor for tonight. So thanks so much for them for supporting the channel. And on the flip side, I want to make sure that everybody has their information. Being such a great sponsor, we all are big fans of a lot of what they're doing at Apex Giant. And I'm going to bring all those guys on because I'm sure they'll want to talk a little bit about that as well. But Apex Giant is our sponsor. So if you don't know them, go check them out. Go support them. Ben's doing some great stuff with Apex Giant and a lot of great stuff. The Diggler, the Wallet. I mean, it goes on and on. Some of the guys will talk about that. But enough of that. Let's go ahead and bring out our friends for tonight. We've got an esteemed panel. Is that really what we're calling you guys?
Hello.
Gentlemen, how are you this evening?
Doing well.
Good.
So we got Taylor from SouthernHike. We've got Brad from As the Crow Flies Hiking, and we've got Andy from Metro on the Move. Welcome, gentlemen. Appreciate your time being here tonight. Talking a little bit about some fun stuff on trail. Before we get started, though, kind of as the just to play a little thank you to the sponsor tonight. Do you guys have a favorite Apex Giant item? Is there something that's part of your kit that you like of theirs? If you do, let's share that. Start with you, Taylor, top right corner.
All right, I want to make sure I say the name right because this thing's pretty sweet. The coffee dripper pour over kit. I'm a huge fan of doing pour over, and the simplicity of this is pretty freaking awesome to be able to have my pour over when I'm in the backcountry. I still haven't gotten my grams figured out on how much coffee I need to grind, but it's pretty freaking sweet.
You like that, huh? What were you using before that? Just like instant stuff, and then you're like, no, we're getting the good stuff. We're going with the ground coffee.
I ain't gonna lie. If it's a multi-day trip, I'm still doing instant. But if it's an overnight, I used to pour over.
Yeah, that's just neat. And doesn't it like fold up into like a little? Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's super flat. I don't have mine in the room with me right now, but you can really condense it down, especially like even into your bear bag.
Oh, they sell it in aluminum or titanium. Which one do you have? Do you have the aluminum?
I think I bought the titanium, to be honest with you.
Nice. You save like
fancy
4/10 of an ounce or something, you know? Titanium.
I mean, the name just sounds cool, so.
Do they have that backwards? It says the aluminum version weighs 1.97 ounces, and the titanium weighs 3.24.
Ben, you're in the chat. You have to answer that.
Ben, is that right? Uh-oh. Well, all right. Let's throw this off here for a second. Crow, you're up next. What do you have a favorite item?
I've been a real big fan of Apex Giant. Their duct tape, it works really well. I'm sorry. No, never mind. That's a different sponsor. No, I've got the wallet.
Oh yeah.
And it has all the money I have in the world in it, which is zero.
Nice.
No, this thing's great because it.
Are you trying to go ultralight? Is that what it is? You leave all the cards and the money? It's super light if you go that way.
Going super hobo, but you can put all your cards in here, and all mine are maxed out, so I don't have any cards in here either. But I do like this little wallet because it really, you can put everything in there. It's great.
Now, have you seen where you can now get it customized? You can get it to say like your logo or something.
I need that.
Isn't that sweet?
I need that.
You can order just the little band that goes with it, and they'll I think they laser engrave it.
Can you customize it? I don't know if I want your name here on mine.
You can. Yeah, it just has to say your name here.
I was like, well, we're designing this, man. It's kind of like your mom's name or something like that. That's kind of funny, but your name. I don't know.
I'm definitely getting a senior hiker 77 one.
It's
your name here. I want that one actually. If you're watching this, can you please send me one that says your name?
just says your name here.
Yeah, please.
That's pretty sweet. Yeah. All right, Metro.
All right, so I actually just got something in the mail from Senior Hiker 77. I'm actually going to open it right now without showing my address, but he just sent me something in the mail because
no idea what it is.
It is I'm going to show it. It is the dog bone. So
hey,
yeah, the dog bone.
Is that the large or the small?
Well, here's the story. So we were out. I got the little one because I was trying to save weight, like I'm gram weaning or something like that. But anyway, you want to have the larger one, in my opinion. After we had done a test, the smaller one, if you're not really lined up, it could get stuck. So the bigger one, I think, is the better way to go. So the dog bone. This is my favorite Apex Giant item, but next to another item, but I'm not going to mention that as well. But I use this all the time. I just got the upgraded one, so I'm happy to get this too.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Look at Ben. Bald heads unite.
I love it.
Yeah, I got to go with the wallet too.
Oh, we got double time on the wallet.
Double wallet. These are pretty sweet. For those that might have a dad for Father's Day coming up here in a little while.
Ooh,
maybe that's a good idea there.
I like the color there, the color one.
Yeah, I like that.
That's cool.
I think this
Yeah,
one's
I don't know why I picked the black one. Mine's really boring.
Yeah.
Adirondack. Well, the backside's black, so you can you get the best of both.
You're a Volunteers fan? Go Balls.
That's right. My folks are in Knoxville, so I have to. Well, very cool. All right. Well, thanks for doing that, everybody. Let's talk a little bit about the Smokies. And that trip. So we decided to do Friday through Sunday. We did a loop. Gosh, I should probably pull this up, but we'll do that maybe while you guys are talking about it. What was it? 22 miles, something like that.
Yeah, relatively.
I put in my video as 65. So
I mean, I'm gonna agree with Crow.
Is that like
it felt like I did.
Is that like dog
miles.
years? It's like as you get older, the miles. It's like every mile's worth 7.
I never do a trip less than 65 miles. It doesn't matter what it is. I always put 65.
Nice. All right. So we did a Great Smoky Mountain National Park. We picked Don't
say we, Andy. You picked this loop that nearly killed us.
Nearly killed you.
I can open this up about the loop and how we decided this. I mean, it wasn't like I just took over. It was more like, hey, there's 2 options. You can either go this way or that way. This way is shorter, and this way is more scenic. I said scenic was the key word there, right? All right, so there's the opening. take it from there. That's how we decided on the scenic versus the short.
Yes. And I love how we didn't tell Taylor, who was coming in later that night, so it was going to be like dark. So we'll not tell him that if you go right, it's short and you'll get there faster. But if you go left, it was like 6 miles.
Yeah.
On the first day, something like that.
So I night hiked in the Smokies.
Well, we were trying to get our legs, like, hey, we're out here in the mountains. Why not see some stuff in the mountains? It's the more scenic route. And on that route, if you guys have seen the video, in fact, that's a good plug right there. Day one from this actual loop is on my channel. So if you want to see what's going on in real time or want to watch that video, on my channel is day one of that loop. So you can see why we chose that, because we went over some pretty awesome log bridge crossings over water and all that stuff. What would you guys think about that?
It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, nice intro. Because see, that's what I'm talking about. Waterfalls.
That's a lot. Now, don't do it now, but his link for this video is in the description down below. So when the live stream is done, go ahead and click that. He's already got part 1 up of his trip, so it's pretty sweet. If you go ahead, that first section of trail, it was like, I don't know, beautiful. 12 bridges or something crazy like that we were going over. So.
And watch out, because on minute 12, there's some nudity, so be careful with that.
Hold up.
In that video.
So,
I'm looking for. No, wait. We're almost at the part. Yeah. No, but it's really scenic. Like, I'll admit, Andy, going the little longer route was definitely worth it if you've got the time to hike in. This is the part where Crow goes off trail.
I was going to say, what is Crow doing? Y'all didn't tell me about this.
Now I'm filming the whole time. I'm right above him. I even caught him. He threw his water bottle and it rolled all the way down the hill. So
there were thorns right there.
Yeah. So we had a good time. We were laughing quite a bit. Oh, and then this is the section we were talking about you were talking, Andy, about what are they called? Lady slippers?
Lady slippers. So they're rare. It's a plant I'd only seen a couple times out in the wild. And the last time I was out there, Champ, who I was hiking with, was like, "Oh, these are lady slippers. These are really rare." And I was like, "Oh, that's incredible." So I remembered that and shared that information. They were there. They're in plenty. There was probably at least 20 of them along the trail.
Oh yeah, there was a ton, and we saw them in 2 or 3 spots too. They weren't just in that one, so it was really cool to see.
Very awkward looking plant. It's just in the middle of nowhere. Oh, okay. Lady slippers.
I will say, if I wouldn't have took that alternate, I wouldn't have had my first bear encounter in the Smokies.
See?
So I'll give you that.
It's totally worth it.
So you walked into the bear and actually you were on your phone, and then you actually right?
I don't know if I wasn't on my phone because there was no signal. I can't remember what I was doing, but I was not looking ahead. I think I might have been eating, as I'm usually doing. I was coming around a corner of the trail, on the side of a ridge. And as soon as I don't know what I was doing, but as soon as I looked up, all I heard was the scratching of leaves like crazy. And I looked straight ahead right off the trail, and there's a bear's butt right there, and he is hauling tail the opposite direction. And all I get is his tail going all the way up another ridge line through 2 mountains that were in between. So, that was my first bear encounter in the Smokies. So,
hey, Taylor, was it recorded?
I don't want to talk about it.
It did not happen.
It doesn't count.
Look, when my video comes out, you got to know if it's on film or not. Then, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that.
He's going to do some CGI on it.
That's right.
So
it's going to be a grizzly, right?
So, that's right. So I gotta tell the best part of this is that I was most people would be really scared and adrenaline rush when they see a bear, but I was actually super excited because I've always wanted to see a bear. And I walked probably 100 yards down trail, slipped in some mud, covered my whole side, my trekking poles in mud, all up my arm. And then I decided I was going to rub my hand across a tree to get the mud off of my hand, and my wedding band went flying off my hand down the side of the ridge off the trail into some leaves. and somehow with like Spider-Man vision was able to see it go down in the leaves, and within about 10 minutes found it buried in the leaves. I called it my lucky day.
Wow. 10 minutes looking through leaves to find it?
Yes. Oh, I was like, there's no way I'm leaving without finding that ring. I know it's right here. So
I immediately texted Rachel and said, "Hey, he went to a club and I'm not sure where he is, but I'm not sure he got his wedding ring with him."
Yeah, and he has no dollar bills left. I don't know what's going on.
Oh my God.
He also left his "Your Name Here" wallet over there.
Your name here.
All right. So now you were hiking in. How much of that hike in, Taylor, was in the dark? Because you didn't get to camp until it was pretty much dark.
Yeah, by the time I got to where the trail like had the couple spurs and then kept going, it was pretty much dark right there. And so that I didn't know it was another mile. Like I thought that spur to 92 was like probably like, I don't know, a couple hundred yards, but it ended up being another mile. So I night hiked that entire section right there, which it only took me about 15 minutes, and then I found y'all.
Okay.
The worst part was when you got there and it was being dark. You had to set up in the dark.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing to do too.
You did a good job because you got a brand new tent.
Yeah.
So that was pretty good.
Yeah, that was like my only third time setting it up. So.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
wow. That's my first time seeing the loop.
All right.
So we started
Sounds
down
like
here at the
Crow.
bottom. Yeah. I think we got to every intersection. He goes, "Where do we go? Anybody know where we're going? We go right, left." So instead of taking the short one that goes past campsite 93, we went up and then over to the split and then up to the upper flats 92. So that was the first day, right around 6 miles. I think we did it, our group, in about 3 hours. I think Taylor did it about 16 minutes.
Yeah.
Dude was flying in.
The last trip I was on the live stream, that was the discussion about how fast I came in. So I don't know what it is. My signature move.
Yeah.
It's the calves. Okay.
You
it's the calves.
You were flying. Yeah.
It's the calves. That's all I can say.
Dave Offfield had a couple things because he went out there last year with a group of people at the Smoky Mountains. That was an awesome time. But he put two things down there. He said, one, make sure you bring the silicone rings, and two, were the bugs bad? Yes, they were horrible. They were flying all over. If you sat still for a second, there were bugs everywhere.
Mosquitoes were biting good too at moments.
Did you guys have a lot of bites afterwards?
Not too bad. Long as I don't got chiggers, I'm fine. Chiggers is what comes home with me.
Well, we were lucky we didn't see a lot of ticks. Just you got was it Crow or Andy? One of you guys had one the first day. Crow.
I got one on film. I named it John.
John?
I had it in my hand.
You kept it with you in your pocket, didn't you, the rest of the trip?
Yeah, I kept it the whole trip.
But then couldn't find it until you got home. No.
Yeah.
Supposed to let him go, man. Let him go.
Let him go.
Now, what'd you guys think of the first campsite?
Excellent.
That's a great campsite. It's
good.
large.
Not a whole lot of flat spots, but I didn't realize there was people up behind us, and I didn't ever look back there, so I don't know how flat it was back there.
We didn't tell him that either.
Yeah, I literally didn't know until the next morning we had people camping right beside us.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty.
And the
big
next
site.
morning I was like, "Hey, sorry if we were loud." And the girl looked at me and she goes, "Oh, it was no problem." But I think it was.
Hey, Metro, so tell them about me, you, and Andy P sitting at the fire. Well, the fake fire.
Late at night. I think
late at night. What happened?
Turned in.
What came through camp? Remember?
Oh my gosh! So we're just sitting there hanging out. You know, I mean, it's the mountains, right? You don't know what's out when you're out there. An area with less traffic. I mean, this is not a very well populated area, so there are bears out there. I already had one encounter with Taylor. He's talking about it, was hanging around. Well, we didn't have a fire because we don't really always do fires around camp. Anyway,
we're lazy.
Yeah, we had we had a fixed light hanging out like up above us. We had a little dome light going on, so we had a little bit of area where we could see. But behind us, it was pitch black. And out of nowhere, something just started scuffling. It was huge, and I didn't know what it was. So I did scream reaction like I know. I freaked out. I mean, I was, and it was, what is it? The entire camp just was woke up at that point.
He literally screamed just like that too.
Yeah.
Scared the mess out of me.
And it was like over probably,
I don't know what y'all
I don't know, 30 feet away from us and probably like 10 feet away from where Crow was.
I was about to get up on the bear lines. I didn't care. I was about to just jump and just go straight up.
I heard it. I was asleep already.
Did we
That
say
was
what it
past 8
was?
o'clock.
It was definitely a deer.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
definitely a deer. I caught just like the form of it out of the corner of my eye as it was bolting. But it walked into camp and we didn't know it was there. And then I don't know what spooked it, but all of a sudden it just took off on a full sprint. And there's like a big kind of drop off down to the creek and it just tore right through that. So, you know, it's 20 feet away from us and we're just like, what the?
It was up on 2 legs and it was throwing rocks. So
Yeah.
could have been a squatch. I don't know.
Banging sticks together. Right.
Yeah.
We found tracks though the next morning.
We
I think
did.
you guys,
That confirmed it was a deer.
yeah.
And it
saw the
smelled
hoofs.
like jerky, so it could have been a squatch. You know, that what is that jerky that he
Speaking of
Sponsor.
smells like jerky.
Beef and cheese, man. Beef and cheese.
even
So
cheese.
let's talk about shut stats. I'm gonna butcher that. Is it shut
Well,
stack?
no.
Shut stack?
There's one other thing that happened that first night.
Oh yeah, one. Yeah, this is a great story.
One.
Oh, was I not there for this one?
Yeah, before
You
we-
weren't
No.
there, but I told you about it later when you were in your tent. I'm like, by the way.
Oh, this is the Andy P story.
so-
Yeah.
yeah. So we get into camp. We get everything set up, and you know, I'm getting my hammock and tarp set up, and I'm a little hungry. I grab a couple snacks, and I start eating. I don't know, almonds. I had jerky, I had almonds and pecans or something like that, and I'm chewing, and all of a sudden, just crunch, crack. Like I don't know what's going on. Stuff's falling out of my mouth. Shattered, just full on exploded. One of my crowns. So the 2 front teeth that I have, an old injury, I got elbowed and cracked my teeth, and I had crowns put on. So literally day 1, night 1, just get to camp, just get set up. I pop in some almonds, and my front tooth just like comes out in like shards, like little pieces of whatever. It was like 1,000 pieces. I probably swallowed some.
Ooh.
I didn't even know what was going on.
That hurt twice.
It was starting to get dark, and I picked up a little bit. So first impressions are great. Taylor's not even there yet. And I this is the first day I'd met you guys in person. So I'm on camera, and you guys see on my video when it comes out. I think it's coming out Sunday. And I'm talking to the camera going, what the heck? Like, what are the odds? I got to go over and tell these guys my front tooth is missing. And the funny thing is, I don't say anything. I go over and I just sit down and start talking to you. And it's not until about 10 minutes into the conversation, Andy leans over and's like,
Yeah.
dude, you got something on your tooth. And I'm like, no, I actually don't have a tooth right now. And he's like, dude, I'm sorry. I'm sure.
I actually said a couple different words. Like you got some.
Yeah, you got something.
And then to add insult to injury, I said, hey, Andy, let's film a video, and I want you to be in the video. And I edited that every time I look. I'm like, oh, his tooth is missing in the video.
And I have a section that I did in mine, which I came over and like, hey, let's walk through what Crow brings out on trail. Like, let's look at his sleep setup. And so you go through this whole thing, and I'm just like, yeah, just.
I'll be honest. When I first saw you, I was like, dang, I thought Andy had a full set of teeth. To be honest with you.
Oh, what are the odds? So the whole rest of the weekend, I'm like walking around with. And the next day when we stopped for lunch, like the other half of it came out. Like
Yeah,
by the end of the weekend, there was nothing left.
you had a stub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just a, yeah.
It was the most awkward thing to eat with, and no, I got the temporary in, so we're good for now. But holy cow, like I've had that thing for over 15 years, almost 20 years. And what
Yeah.
are the odds the first day?
I've got one too, Andy, and I'm ready for it. It'll go sometime soon. And when it
Next trip.
does, I'm going to wear it like a trophy. I'm going to be like, hey, what's up? What's up?
Well, that might work well for like Backpacker Bob.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
if that happens. All right. So, Taylor, you're going to talk a little bit about day 2, heading up to Shuck Stack Tower.
Yeah.
That climb.
First of all, that climb was it was very rough, I'll be honest. But the climb we had after Shuck Stack was even worse. But we will go there later. But anyways, we had a very difficult morning climb. I've got a thumbnail of Crow that I can't wait to use of him about to die on trail. So, yeah, right there where Andy's at right now on screen. We hiked all the way up to Shuck Stack, and I am not afraid of heights at all, but I also know an unstable situation. And, man, it is definitely not for the faint of heart to climb that fire tower, but it is freaking awesome when you're up there.
Yeah, that was about as rickety of a fire tower I think I've been in. And I've been in a few.
It was making a lot of unusual sounds.
Yeah.
I will say that Mount Sterling, where's Mount Sterling? Like toward the middle of the park.
Yeah.
I would say Sterling is a lot. So if Shuck Stack is kind of rough, Mount Sterling Tower is even like double that. It looks like it's rotting. It's the platform's rotting. At least they've like tripled up the boards on Shuck Stack, but Mount Sterling one, like I'm not even sure why they let people go up in that one still. It's a little scary.
Yeah, I think we were mostly worried about just falling through the floor.
Yeah.
On this one.
We were all 4 standing up there.
Yeah, at one point.
Picture, guys, all the same.
Yeah, somebody wanted to take a picture, and I was like, take the picture because I'm getting the heck out of here.
Yeah, there. See? Hey.
Oh,
hey,
look at that up close.
Yeah, look at that. And I see that. Look at that. That's spectacular.
That's the best shot of the night.
We're done. All right, we're moving on. Yeah. So I had actually like a retainer with me. So I ended up wearing that because I was worried about like doing damage or whatever. So I'm wearing a retainer. I've got. I'm going back to it. Look at that. Look at that.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Andy smiled for the camera.
Yeah, there it is. Oh, look at that. Oh, man.
You know what was cool? When we got back down, you remember there was this guy down there, this older gentleman, and I noticed that he had an Iron Man tattoo on his ankle. And so I said, hey, have you done an Iron Man? He was like, yeah, about 10 years ago. And he looked like he was in his 70s. So I think he'd done 2 of them, and his wife had done 1 or 2 as well. And then he starts saying, I was like, oh, so he's like, yeah, I just had knee surgery and broke his patella or something. I can't remember what he said, but he was on the AT and just hit some black ice somewhere outside of what's that main thing in Georgia where all the shoes are above? What do you call that place, Andy? Neil's Gap. He was right above Neil's Gap and hit some black ice and just shattered his patella. Had to get off the AT, and so he was just now getting back. And it was only like 2 months after his surgery. The guy looked like a beast of a hiker in his 70s, and had done 2 Ironmans. Like the ones where you have to swim and bike and then do a marathon afterwards. I was like, gosh, I want to be this guy.
50 miles or something like that too, right? It's like 50, like Ironman 50, right?
That's the kind of guy you just want to sit down and talk to and hear his stories, because you could tell he was on it, man.
He was built like a brick. He actually looked like a brick. Wasn't fat, wasn't skinny. He was just a brick.
Yeah.
Now, Andy, before we got to Shuck Stack, though, there's something worth mentioning.
Yeah, so we're just like trekking along. Obviously, you got Taylor. We should call, man, this guy, he gets going. He wants to get to where he's at. So he's like darting up the mountain as fast as he can. Crow's right behind him. Andy and Andy are just hanging out in the back, cruising around the corner. And I look over and I see a big black dot. And I was like, wow, that looks weird. And I saw it was a bear. literally it was just hanging out right underneath the trail where the guys had just walked around. So the bear was deciding if it wanted to go over the trail or not. And we're sitting there going, that's a little too close. And as you can see, it decided to go the other way. Now it's a small bear, but my encounters, it's like if there's a small bear, there's going to be a big bear around there too. So you got to be like freaking out a little bit. So I started, hey bear, hey bear, get out of here, bear. Just like, because I didn't want to deal with mama bear coming right down behind it.
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine? Oh my God.
Well, and you knew it was like we came around the corner and it's just like staring at us. Yeah. And I kind of joked. I'm like, it was like standing there and it like we could totally see him. And it's like, I'm being really still. You don't see me. But he's like staring right at us, like frozen.
Well, he moved
like, dude, we can see you. You're right there. And then he's like, all right, fine. And he kind of, but he doesn't go very far. And he's, I don't know, 50, 100 yards away from us. Not that far. And just kind of hanging out. So we're like, do we go past him? Do we wait? Like you start yelling a little bit, like to try and move him on. He's not afraid of us. Like he's not skittish. And I was thinking the same thing. Like he's waiting for mom or he's waiting for something. I don't know where mom is. So mom could be like the trail goes right through that section too. So mom could have been above the trail, could have been below. Like we have no idea. So we took our sweet old time, 100. I think, making that hike up to them, and luckily didn't see anything else.
Taylor just showed the bear his calves, and he just stood still, just stared at him.
No, I don't think Taylor actually saw a bear. He doesn't have anything on video. So
okay,
right.
Okay.
We got it on film, so it did happen.
Yeah.
Oh, to be fair, I was trying to get my camera out of my pocket, but he was too fast.
Would you like to see it again, Taylor? I can rewind it for you, just so you can see what bear on camera, looks like. See it around there?
running down. Yeah, that's definitely a bear. Yeah. Or it could.
I don't know. It looks more like a German Shepherd to me.
Possum. It's a big possum.
I think I saw a collar.
Labrador, like Labrador.
Yeah.
Dang it. Fooled again. Man, it was. And then as we're coming back down. What did you find, Crow? I mean, it was full of adventure, man. We're coming back down the hill.
I got my bear encounter on video. It was I felt a slip, and then I started smelling something, and I kept walking, and then I was like, "What is that smell?" I turned to Andy P, and I was like, "What is that smell?" And he's like, "I don't know." And I slipped. I knew I'd slipped on something that was kind of nasty. I looked at my shoe, and I had it all in the crevices of my Ultras. It was just bear scat all on my Ultra. But I did get that on film, so that will be really awesome to see. Yeah,
getting your souvenir there.
We also, on the way back down, we ran into the guy that had a funny shirt on as he's laid out on the trail. Like he's sitting there, like asking us about water sources, and you're just like you were engaging him, trying to make sure he's okay. You want to tell a story about what happened there?
What was on his shirt? I'm getting old. I forgot, but I did. Oh, I said something to him. It was like a heart survivor, wasn't it?
Heart attack survivor, like
cardiac survivor. And then I see this guy with cardiac. Yeah, he's laying on the trail with this cardiac survivor shirt on. I'm like, dude, are you okay? I've got some water.
I did not know he had that on.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
that was the first thing that got me. I'm like, here's a dude laying on the trail with cardiac survivor shirt on,
and he didn't look great.
Yeah, he looked like he was in poor condition.
Survival. Yeah. You will die if I have to do some sort of like chest compression. So I was like, I don't know about this.
You can have my water. And he looks at you and he goes, "Nah, I can't take that from you." He wanted it. It was just like, but he couldn't go.
$5. No
Thanks, Dave. I appreciate it. I appreciate that.
He paused. He's like, I can't take it. Hilarious.
That's too funny.
I forgot all about that, Andy. I'd forgotten his shirt said cardiac survivor. That's why I stopped to talk to him. I was like, what is going on here?
I crossed him and didn't even notice that.
On the trail. I'll be fine. How much further?
I'll be fine. Where's the next water source? I was like, dude, it's like 4 miles downhill, Fontana Lake. Fontana Dam. That's a big water source.
And then you try to offer water. He's like, you sure you want some water? He's like, I can't take it from you.
Yeah. Like, whatever.
All right, Crow. So explain the rest of the trail for us the rest of that day.
It's mostly flat.
Yeah, mostly. That was Suck City the rest of the day.
There
It was so bad on the map.
There was not a switchback in sight.
There was not.
It looks pretty flat.
Yeah.
It looks pretty flat. It looks like a straight line. So normally switchbacks might go a little zigzags. You're always like, why does the trail go like this? You're like, that's probably because there's switchbacks. In this particular case, it was 2,000, 2,500 feet of elevation gain or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like going like, I'm walking up the mountain, not going side to You get halfway into it, you're like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to walk anymore. You can't stop. I mean, you got to keep going. So that was a whole day.
Yeah, that was the last time I did part of that loop at campsite 92. We went past the creek and straight up, and it was shorter. And so it was less like deathly, like a cardio for a short amount of time. This was like the death march in Lord of the Rings or something to that eye in the sky tower thing. It was just straight up the whole way. And all I was looking at was Taylor's behind from a distance because he was just flying. I was like, I can't keep up with running.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal. I started to hate every little dip that we had on that trail because I knew every little dip. It's like I'm just climbing straight back. Whatever we
got to make that dip up every time.
Once in a while. There'd be these little tiny dips, and then it's just you're straight up the other side, and there's no switchbacks. And your like calves are burning. I don't know about Taylor's, but mine were burning. My hamstrings are killing me. And I was going nice and slow and easy, and like Taylor's flying ahead. Crow's keeping up with him pretty well. I would always catch you guys, and then like Crow would be laying on the ground. Taylor would be standing there like, "Are we ready to go? Are we ready to go?" I'm like, "You."
There was a couple times I was like, "Hey, Taylor, let me tell you something." And then he stopped. I was like, never mind. Just so I can slow it down a bit, so I can stay up with him.
Well, and he always had that comment when we'd rest for like 5 minutes, and he'd be like, I forget what he'd say, but it was like,
"No, I'd say, all right,
you guys ready to go?" Crow's like, "You shut up. You shut up."
I was like, "Dude, 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes."
That was a brutal day, but the payoff was getting to the top, which was Gregory Bald, which is 4,900 feet and change or something like that. So we had a big climb, and it was just steady all day long. The hardest was probably that climb right up to Shuckstack. Don't you think so?
No,
like that section. Well, I mean, just the incline.
Yeah.
It was short, but it was like there was no break. And it was,
and then that last section right before you get to Gregory Bald. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Cause you think, I made it to this sign and it's flat again. Then you look up and you're like, nope.
No.
There's
like 5 of those. There's like 5. We
10
climb
fall
up
summits.
And like it levels off and then you climb the next one.
Yeah. There was like 10 fall summits.
Anytime I see a video now of Gregory's Bald, I'm like, I'm just going to be like, because there is no easy way to get to Gregory Bald except for a helicopter, which I wanted to do in this video, but Andy wouldn't let me.
We tried. Hank tried. We looked for the
permit was stuck.
Hey, there we go. Dude, the closest I've ever been to taking a nap on trail.
I think Crow fell asleep for a while.
I was right there with him.
Yeah, I think we all. It was like half an hour. We all got to the top. We set our packs down.
We all just laid. I mean, it was so cushiony up there.
It was, but we're enjoying this. We're not rushing this.
It was only like 4:30.
Yeah,
we should have just cowboy camped up there. I mean, just whatever, Rangers, come get us. We should have cowboy camped.
Like we were just hanging out. We were just hanging out. We weren't in bed yet. We're just like.
Yeah, our tents are down there. Yeah.
That way, dude. We're just hanging out. That way. How much is the fine if you get caught doing this? We don't endorse breaking the rules, right?
Yes, we do not.
Not at all.
I don't know. I've never done anything like that, so
Yeah.
Me neither. I've always abided by the rules.
Yes.
That would have been the time, like maybe stay out longer.
Because you could say, oh, we were just waiting till the moon rises. Or if you get past that, you can say, oh, we're just waiting for the sunrise. We got our camp down at 13.
Yeah, it's a time lapse. Time lapse.
Yeah.
I'm doing a long. They're like, oh, you're not supposed to film. They're like, this is for like my personal stuff, like memories. Anyway, what's like? What is? Oh.
There's plenty of times on trail where you're like, you have these little micro moments in trail where you say, this is like one of those times that you always remember. So that's one of those times because the temperature was perfect. It was like 62, 63. Wind was blowing, sun was warm.
Yeah.
And I'm laying there, like Taylor said, on this like soft grass. The rock is like a perfect pillow behind me. I'm thinking, I might as well just give up right here down, because it was perfect.
It was.
Yeah. I could have stayed there for, like, if we would have gotten up there a little earlier, just sitting up there for hours just was awesome. I mean, we were only there, 30, 40 minutes or something like that, but the weather was perfect, just laying down. And especially after just the brutal climb, being able to take your pack off for a little bit, get some water, relax was pretty cool.
So camp. The good news about camp, there was water to be found. Unfortunately for the guy we passed earlier, he didn't have enough water. We had plenty, right? It wasn't running as much camp as we thought, though, right?
Yeah, and it was nice that it wasn't that far from Gregory Bald. That you just had this little hike down the other side of it, and you get to camp, and then water luckily wasn't terribly far to go down the side of the hill until was it Natural Springs? Is that what it was? Just coming out of the side of the mountain?
I think so. I'd been there before with like Dave Off Grids on here. He put his tent up exactly where you put your hammock up, Andy P.
Okay.
And we'd been down to that before, and I knew it wasn't that far because we were worried, about water because we'd gone up there. And I knew it was there. I just was afraid that it had been so dry that there wasn't anything. But that's a natural stream at 13 at Sheep's Pen, so it was flowing pretty good.
Yeah, and that was a nice site too. I thought that was really big. We had more people at that one. We had some wildlife at that one too, at both camps, I guess.
Oh yeah, we did have some deer.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And we had another guy that came in. I think he went up to the Bald either first thing in the morning or
for dinner.
Might have been even at
For
sunset.
dinner.
Too. Yeah.
And he went out there to have a nice, luxurious dinner on the Ball. He's like, yeah, I'm having my peak refuel in style. So he kind of had the right idea.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is, right there.
That's that flowing. It wasn't really flowing that much, but that's
I
enough.
stole a good bit of stuff out of that guy's tent when he went up to the Greg's Ball too. So
He had some good stuff.
he had some good gear that I got.
He had like a couple things from Apex Giant.
Actually, where do you think I got this dog bone from? It was actually his.
Yeah, that's his. Yeah.
Yeah.
That your name here, Wallet, too, is
No, Squid, he did not take his short hammock.
Oh, it called me out.
Yep.
I don't take everything with me that I have on every trip. I took a seat, and I do rotate my gear so I don't ruin it. I guess is the proper way. I rotate my gear accordingly.
Yeah, there's something. There's deer that just hang out at campsite 13. I think Dave Off Grid is saying that's his favorite, and Woodknock is saying that's his favorite. It's just something special about that one. I would say it's probably one of the highest campsites in the Smokies. I may be wrong about that, but I know it's pretty high because it's almost at 5,000 feet, right? Gregg Ball is 49 or something like that. So it's got to be a pretty high campsite. And you always, there's what I was about to say. You always get that fog in the morning when you wake up. It's just really cool.
It's like sleeping in the clouds. Everything was damp though. Like my quilts were damp, everything. Cause it's just, you're sleeping in a cloud.
Smoky Mountains, bro.
Yep.
So before we talk about the next morning, what was already on all of our minds the night before? for the plan for the next day. Who wants to lead into that, the grand finale?
Oh, as far as what we were looking forward to?
Yeah.
What we were like.
Yeah, we even downloaded the menu for and all studied the menu.
So that's another plus of 13 is I think we all got signal for a little bit at 13.
It would come
was
and
like
go.
Spotty at spots. So it's like if you walk to this side of camp, hey, it comes in over here, but you walk over to that tent and there's nothing. So we were pulling up the restaurant. So we found a restaurant online. What was it? The Tapico Lodge?
Yeah. Pretty
And,
freaking sweet spot.
I saw that online. I was like, oh, this isn't too far from 20 Mile Trailhead when we get back to the cars. Why don't we go? It's on some of your guys' way. It was out of my way by like 5 minutes. I'm like, why don't we just go check it out if it's open? Like, so we were looking up what time does it open? What's the food on the menu? Downloading all that stuff. You guys were like flipping through going, oh, I'm getting this. I'm getting that.
Oh yeah,
We all got our own appetizer. that all
and then
shared.
shared them. Yeah,
We did.
Oh.
Way more food than we could eat, but that was pretty cool.
We all picked out different items, and I wish I wouldn't have got my item. I felt like I picked the worst item because I didn't like mine at all.
It was good.
What did you guys get?
I got some
still got-
nachos. Mine were okay. I mean, it was like nachos with brisket.
That
They
sounds
were good.
that was pretty good. And then Taylor, what'd you get?
These wings that looked like that chicken been on steroids for a long time.
Mhm.
They were some huge, but the flavor of the sauce was excellent. There it is, and we sat right there in that sweet spot.
That's when I put my kayak
Well,
in right there.
We were over there, and
Right
then
Look like
we
that.
got drinks dumped on us, and then we moved further down.
Literally,
That was
the
pretty
only
cool.
I hadn't had a shower in 3 days. It was one of the rare times I was not upset that somebody spilled Coke all over my leg. So,
Like first thing to sit down, boom.
yeah, literally.
And then we just had the kayakers like going by all day long while we were sitting there eating burgers.
Well, I got trout nuggets, man. It sounded good.
Oh, yeah.
It was like it sounded like they'd be fresh, but I felt like mine weren't the freshest. And we got there first thing in the morning, right? It wasn't like, maybe they're rotating things out or whatever. And I felt like I got the wrong batch. I just was not hitting the spot for me. But those burgers were on point.
Burgers were great.
I had
Too bad they came like 30 seconds after the appetizers.
no, we didn't have a ton of time to eat it. You got a picture of the trout nuggets? Look out.
There's the
Yeah.
wings.
Yeah.
Yeah, your wings look the best. Look at the trout nugget. Ugh.
Crow's onions look great too.
Yeah.
They were good.
Fried onions.
Then I go in for it, and I get the fish. The fish. Morning time still, so I'm like, "Huh." Oh man! Like,
Look how much food there were.
We had too
This
much
is-
food.
This
Dude,
is
look
like
at me.
towards the-
I'm chowing my burger. Look at that.
Did you see the dejection on Crow's face? I think he's like, I'm so done.
I think I've had enough. Yeah.
tapping out.
Oh man, I was in my element right there.
Yeah, you're like, I'm eating all your appetizers. I don't
Yeah,
care.
literally.
So getting into camp though, like before we even got to this restaurant though, we had still like 7 miles to go, right? So we're at camp. We're like, okay, we're ready to go eat. That's wonderful food you just saw. So we're like, oh, only 7 miles. We'll probably get there in like, I don't know, an hour.
We tried. We ran down the whole stinking mountain.
That's
We did.
the fastest miles I've ever done on trail. I'll be honest.
We were flying, but it was, you have to think. So we did 2 days pretty much worth of climbing
Yeah.
over 14 miles or something like that. And then you give it all back in like a 4.5 mile stretch where it's just like falling off a cliff. So Taylor's like jogging down the mountain. We're trying to keep up with him. And I forget, how fast were we going? Like 3 miles an hour, 4
We
miles
were
an
doing
hour? Like,
at some points we were doing
flying.
3.5 miles an hour. To be honest.
Yeah.
Because we
Which I-
didn't we almost do a 16-minute mile. I
Yeah,
thought
we
we
had
almost-
a couple that
Yeah.
were like
Yeah.
16 to 18-minute miles that we were
Which-
just like back to back to back to back to back.
If you're not trail running, that's pretty fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. That was definitely one of the fastest routes in town. And then on the way out, like once we get to the trailhead, right? So it's like we still got a little bit of ways to go to this place because out there in the mountains, obviously, it's not just right around the corner. So we got to go around a few corners because it's just this one. We're on this area called, what was it, Tail of the Dragon or whatever? Or is it?
Oh, the road? Yeah.
What you guys see? Remember when you guys saw, like, we saw a bunch of race cars going through there before? Like, wasn't there like a series of motorcycles and Mini Coopers?
Oh yeah.
So we're trying to like drive up, race with these guys, just trying to get. We were so hungry that we're just
Literally.
So
Yeah,
I got a story that I tried to call Andy P on the way out. So Andy and Taylor went a different way, and me and Andy P went through the tail of the dragon, the whole thing on the way out, right? And so I tried to call you, Andy P, on the way out. But once we got through the tail of the dragon, did you see what happened ahead of me? So Andy Parrish is behind me. Well,
yeah.
Maybe you turned off before this happened, but
no, Andy was with me. Metro was with me, so he didn't even see this.
Yeah, no, I was trailing Crow through this section
because you waved off when you turned, but when we finished the tail of the dragon, this Camaro and this Corvette are ahead of me.
Yeah. And
so they go flying off at about 100 miles an hour on the stretch by the lake.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they meet a trooper, a Georgia, Tennessee state trooper with the big brim hat. They meet him coming toward them. And the next thing I see is he's turned on them and they're still flying. But he caught up with him because a few miles later, he has passed them and has stopped traffic in the road and made them stop. He gets out of his truck, walks up to both cars and gets their license and says, "Follow me." And screams some explicitives and said, "Follow me." And then they pull off another half mile. And it looks like he had done this before. And then they pull off, and those guys look like, oh, no, this is the end of a bad day for us.
Whoa, it just ruined that trip.
Yeah. I didn't see them take off flying, but they came up behind me on the Dragon's Tail on that section. So I duck off to the side. They have these little pull-offs. They flew past me, and then I saw you did the same a couple curves later, and they got in front of you. But I was still behind you at that point. It just opens up. What was that? Was that
somebody's garage door open?
All right.
Crow, you're muted, dude.
So I tried to mute it. Did it not mute?
Not right away. It did mute eventually.
Sorry. I think my son's going to see his girlfriend or something. He's like, "Hey, I gotta go. So he pulled his car out.
Actually, I thought we were doing like sound effects, like with someone.
I did too. I was like, does he have that on film? He's got the Corvette taking off.
I gotta get some sound effects. So like a soundboard. I need a camera too. Obviously, my video looks like I got that dial-up going on over here.
Yeah, that was funny. My son comes down the stairs. He's like, "Hey, Dad, I gotta go. I know he's going to see his girlfriend." I was like, "Just go," and then so then I was like, "Oh, I was trying to mute this," and I was like, "Oh crap! Oh well, sorry."
No, you're good, man.
It's fun stuff. So you guys have any plans for the weekend? Any hiking? Go anywhere special?
Anybody?
No. Me and Taylor were talking about this while we we're hiking. So I think I found the kayak I want on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
So I didn't find the one I want. I really want a Prejean Yukon Expedition, which is sort of like a white whale. You can't find them. Yeah. They stopped making them in like year 2000, and so I thought about going to trail days, but I found a kayak that I want, so I may drive about 3 or 4 hours to get it if it's still available.
All right. Trail days is going on this weekend. I was wondering if you. Yeah. I've decided not to go this weekend. I've opted out. I went last year and it was awesome, but I heard it was like the blowback year. That's why it was such a huge event. This year, I think it's supposed to rain, so I'm not sure if that's going to be good or bad. But if you've ever been to Tent City, that would be gross.
Yeah.
You guys seen what Tent City looks like at trail days? Like
I saw pictures.
Okay, it's like imagine like an entire football field, right? Maybe 2 football fields of just nonstop tent to tent to tent to tent to tent to tent action. Guess what's on the edge of all these tents? Porta potties. So you can imagine more people, and then that's just the outside. Oh. So like it's on this like field. So if it rains and that gets going, I don't know, man. Because there was a lot of people last year. A lot of people.
Well,
No,
if you
thank
get
you.
that explosive diarrhea like Crow gets, man.
I only use that excuse when I don't want to go on a hiking trip. I just say I've got explosive diarrhea, and then people like, well, nobody would lie about that, so he must have it.
Hey, I will.
And
I
they're all
will-
like, I don't really want to hike with you then
Yeah,
anyway.
thanks. We don't need you on this trip. Thanks.
We're
We're
good.
good.
To speak about our sponsor, I did on the final morning put the Dirt Diggler to use as always. Came in clutch as always.
Nice.
Are you a little diggler or a big diggler?
Little Diggler. That big Diggler, I don't know about that thing.
That's the handle, right?
I'm not going to answer that.
Dig in there with it, man.
Somebody said something about a Coe whitewater. No, I'm looking for, as I'm getting older and my miles, I don't know, starting to fade, I guess. I'm sort of transition into kayak camping. And so I want the perfect hybrid between a whitewater kayak that can take some whitewater, but is large enough and has drive wells in it to do what's that? So I'm looking for about a 14-foot kayak that I can do kayak camping. I think it's just the same as backpacking to me. It's just that you don't have to walk.
No, I've not done the kayak camping, but I've done a ton of the canoe camping. And what's nice is you can take a lot more stuff.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Like if you want to glamp a little bit on the canoe camping trips, because when we go up to like Boundary Waters or like what I see people do on the kayak trips, they're just going down river, and there's like 3 campsites along the river, and maybe it's a weekend trip and they just camp on 2 spots, and that's, you're floating down river. In Boundary Waters, you have, little sections of trail that you got to hike over. So you do have to carry it, but then you got like 5 miles on a lake. So it's so nice. Like you're canoeing is nothing compared to carrying, a 30 or 40 pound pack. So
There's a spot that I love doing an overnight on a river near us. I talked to Crow about taking Crow to it, and it's a great spot. There's an island like about midway down the river where you can camp on, and I love to do it because then I fish too. So it's a great time. I love the kayak and camp too.
Yeah. That's, to me, is so much fun. I love it just as much as backpacking. If I can get a good kayak set up, and there's a lot of good YouTube channels that do kayak camping and stuff like that. I love watching it because just seeing the water in the videos, oh man, I just love it.
Yep.
I keep focusing on my camera, man.
You got the best camera, so
Yeah.
why don't we're going to highlight you for a little bit, Metro.
What it feels like an old Nokia phone. Oh, I remember playing games.
Are you joining us on a flip phone?
Yes, actually, I've had hard times, and I'm on my cell phone. It's one of those old Motorola Razors, man. I didn't want to tell you guys, but I had to plug it in last minute. That's what I got. And it was state of the art back then.
That's pretty nice.
Hey Crow, quick gear talk for as far as kayaks. Have you seen Yak Attack? It's an American company. Check them out when you get time. They got some cool accessories for your kayak. I just bought a couple things from them.
Okay. Yeah.
And they're American made too.
If anybody sees a Prejean Yukon Expedition, let me know. They've come up on Facebook Marketplace every once in a while. They quit making them in like 2000, but they were built for the Yukon up in what is that burner prison boat? They were built for doing an expedition up on the Yukon in Alaska. So they have the hull of a whitewater boat. It's rounded.
Oh, you told me about this.
They're 14 feet long, and they have 2 dry wells, and one in the front and one in the back, so they can take gear, and they have a drop down rudder. So it's the perfect hybrid between, not that we're talking about kayaks, but I've been just passionate about kayaks lately.
That's all right, man. I love them too.
I got a perception. I got like a jazz perception. Sit on top, go down to Chattahoochee. That's all I need.
I tell you, that's fun. Yeah, I love sit on tops.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'll buy.
I had an ocean kayak at one point there. I used to go on Tybee Island. I used to go camp on this little Tybee. and you just go out there, like you said, with the ocean kayaks. But getting through the breaks is like a whole nother thing. Like you have to at a certain time, or else you're.
I've watched people. It's work to do that.
Oh my god, you'll lose everything, man. You've seen it because you go down to Savannah all the time, don't you?
Yeah. We go to Tybee a lot.
Yeah, I used to live right there on the main strip for a couple of years. So I was always out there on a kayak. The reds are fun to catch. Out there on the kayaks.
I like just floating down the river in my Thermarest X Light. So.
And all the alligators float away because it makes such a loud crinkling noise.
It
so
does.
They go,
it annoys the crap out of them. It's really annoying. So it works great.
Love it. Good. I actually got to try that. I've never used my Thermarest as a flotation device. That is such a great idea.
Make sure you film that for the content because I sure want to watch that.
Yeah, I know. We should all do that.
Without the Chattahoochee on my Thermarest, would it work?
Absolutely.
Is that a new challenge video idea?
It's basically just a glorified, swimming pool thing is what it is, with a little more R value.
You know what? This is an excellent challenge. To shoot the hooch on your sleeping pad if you're a hiker, because they got some hiking trails out there that you could literally get off, deflate your pad, do a loop, get back on the pad. Oh man, I just figured out the crown, baby. That's what we got to do.
I don't think you can say shoot the hooch on this live stream.
No, that's what they call it in Atlanta. Shoot the hooch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Andy's kicked off. Sorry, he's in timeout. All right, he's back.
Google it. Shoot the hooch.
Okay.
All right, he's back in timeout. Come on.
Hey guys, let me out. Okay, there.
No, well, they do make those pack raft things. I mean, they're very heavy, but we could do a trip where we did some backpacking, then got on the river and went down to another place. They're fairly heavy, but I think you can put them on top of your pack and use them, blow them up.
But this would be the Metro challenge.
Ben just canceled us, guys.
What is that canceled?
Ben just canceled us. Thanks, Andy.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
They don't want to be associated with that kind of stuff.
I'm telling you, it's a Southern thing. Look it up. I'm not anything. It's called Shoot the Hooch.
Sorry, sponsorships matter. Metro will not be joining us for the remainder of the live stream. Ben has spoken.
Canceled.
Canceled. Yep. Sorry.
Cancel culture is real. It's not a joke. Media lies. Media lies. Media.
On that note, I think it's time to wind this up.
This is like sitting around the campfire.
Well, give me a sticker from Andy Parrish. Thank you so much for giving me a sticker. I'm going to put you on the board.
Oh, yeah.
I want stickers from you guys, man. Reach out, metroonthemove@yahoo.com. Send me a sticker. I'll send you one, too.
Andy's right there. Here's Andy right there.
See it.
You can't see it, but there he is.
Yep.
Right,
it's all blurry.
On the board, man.
Hey, Taylor, see, he's got a bear on his board too. So
atypical height. Oh yeah, there
right?
You go.
That's what a bear looks like.
Wait,
okay.
Have you got a Bob sticker?
I do. It's
Is it on the board
right there.
Nice.
Okay.
Limited edition. Yeah.
David,
you got SouthernHike. I got the crew here, man. Represent school. I'm taking this out to a couple events. In fact, events are coming up. Pinhoti Fest. I do think that you guys should think about going out to that event. Dates have not been publicized, I think, officially with when a Facebook page comes out, that's when you know it's real. But I think Pinhoti Mafia is going to be there. It's in September. There is a link on hikersofamerica.com, so make sure you check that out if you want to see more about Pinhoti Fest. It's coming up in September. There'll be a Facebook page to officialize it and all that stuff. There's going to be a lot of vendors there. I'm sure the guys from Pinhoti Mafia will be there. Hopefully, Southern
I was
Hike.
going to say they're taking votes to whether I join the mafia. So
Yeah. Like, what do you guys think if Taylor's doing the Pinhoti Mafia or not? Since he goes on these backpacking trips, like he lives in the South. All he has to do is
We had a limited offer, and he was not sure. So we're like, oh, we're revoking this.
and it's like, but the criteria.
They told me I had to like Alabama football, and I don't know if I could do that. So
No, you have to do Alabama.
I don't like Alabama football.
Alabama Triple Crown. You gotta do it. That's like getting beat in. You gotta get beat in, man. That's how you do it. Do the Alabama Triple Crown, and you're in, bro. That's all you gotta do. Come to Pinhoti Fest, please.
I am definitely probably going to do the Triple Crown next year. That is on my list. So
And you're going to Pinhoti Fest?
No pressure.
I'm hoping
Andy
so.
P,
We'll have to
you're
look
in
at
it
that.
too, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Why
You gonna
not?
come do that? You gonna do the Alabama Triple Crown?
Oh man, this is getting crazy.
Yeah.
It's commitment on live TV.
Yeah, I don't even know what it is, but yeah, no, I totally don't. I want to be in the Mafia. Did you allow people from Indiana in the Mafia, or is it like you got to be from Georgia or Alabama?
You got to get cleared by the rest of the guys.
Right.
First thing, and the second thing is the Alabama Triple Crown, and then the third thing is you have to go to Pinhoti Fest, and the fourth thing is you got to buy us all dinner.
Oh yeah.
For the summer.
For the summer.
Subway.
Taylor's got to do it right at Subway. Oh, we should talk about that story.
No, that's an inside joke. No, that will get us canceled.
That's for another time.
Yeah.
That's for out on trail. Yeah. If you ever hike with
you have to have
Metro.
all your teeth.
Yeah. No, do you? Well, I'm out then. Sorry. I'm out. You gotta have all your teeth. You gotta get a bear on film.
Very important. Very important.
You gotta have a camera from the 2000s, right?
No, I don't discriminate on the teeth. I look like I chewed rocks when I was a kid. So no, we're good.
I ain't gonna lie, I do have a crown in the back, so
Dude, my whole front is crowns. I got nothing, man.
It was. Yeah.
Well, I had a good time tonight, guys. That was a lot of
yeah,
fun.
I had an excellent time.
Yeah. Great
Y'all
time.
made me hungry for that lodge again, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet. That was definitely a nice topper to the end of the
Crow, I mean,
trip.
Andy P, I might need that video clip for my video of me like eating that burger.
Oh, with the big old grin on your face.
Yes,
like,
I didn't know you had that. I need that content.
I still love the one though, and it might be the same video where Crow just looks like I just ate 10 pounds of food and I'm gonna go into a food coma. He just says that like,
Yeah, I didn't even finish my burger. I had too much grease on those onion rings. I was like, ugh.
Makes for
good times.
ride home, right? A lot of grease going in.
This is true.
Speaking of historic, I made historic after I was done with that.
Did we forget anything? Is there anything that we didn't touch on for the trip? Did we cover it all?
Think we hit everything and a little too much.
Yeah. We had a good time talking to. Were those two guys that we talked to? Were they doing the AT through hike?
Yes.
They were. Yeah.
So we
And
got
the
to talk to a couple guys.
Yeah, and the two ladies we knew that they were through hiking because they smelled like absolute cheeks. Oh my God. They were stinking so bad.
Rotten cheese.
I walked right by both of them and talked to them. I never smelt them. Crow is the only one that smelt them. I still don't get that.
Oh,
But you don't like.
I mean, dude, at least once every 2 weeks.
I'm used to smelling
Good
baby
Lord.
poop every day, though, so maybe that's it.
Embrace the stink, hiker stink, right, Andy?
There you go, right? I mean, they asked me for a sticker on the way out. I was like, here you go, guys.
Yeah. You don't get the other one. You get this one. Sorry.
No, hold on. This is for you. Sorry, this one was
Yeah.
yours.
Yeah.
So they get labeled. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? This is what I do with through hikers when they walk by. What?
Hey, look.
Andy, when this is over, can you label this live stream "Shoot the Hooch"?
Dude, seriously, come down to Atlanta. Let's shoot the Hooch. I'm telling you. Let's take on us.
Crow, you're in timeout.
Let's take the sleeping pass and let's go shoot the Hooch.
Look, I got to answer a question for
Can we
Dave
do
off grid.
shoot the hooch on the X Light? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. It's a challenge. Like, there's 3 hikes on the way down. Literally 3 trails that you could do, and it's like about maybe 10 miles of river that would take you probably 4 hours.
Backpacker pearls.
Look, Dave Off Grid said he said keep the mafia. I thought he wanted to join the mafia. I was like, well, unfortunately, California, thanks to the Penhodium Mafia, will give you cancer. So we wouldn't be able to let you in, dude.
No, everything would give them.
We love you, Dave. Just picking on California.
Actually, I'm from California, but I live in the South now. So.
I know you got to a better spot, man.
Traffic's just as bad.
It's past my bedtime.
Yeah, I know. You ready to wind this thing up?
To wrap it up before my mic dies this time, right, Taylor?
Yeah, that's right.
You got batteries in that thing?
No, it's like wind up. So
okay.
like it's pedals underneath.
Like one of those emergency radios.
That's why I keep doing this. I'm really just pedaling. It powers everything.
Why didn't I? Awesome.
Well, thanks, gentlemen. Appreciate hanging out again. Always a great time. Had a blast. Let's do it again at some point. I guess we're doing the Triple Crown every year. That's just what we do.
You just committed, man. That's huge.
Yeah.
Which year did I commit to? Which year? I forget which year I committed to though.
It's next year.
I'll have to play it back.
We're coming to Indiana, like in
you want to do the Indiana Triple Crown
with Will Ferrell? We'll get a van and throw you in the van and bring you down here to Alabama. What was that movie where they had the fraternity in college and they were older?
Old school?
It's old school.
Old school, yeah. When they took the van and went and jumped the guy and got him and put him in the fraternity, we'll bring you down to Alabama for the Alabama Triple Crown.
Oh my God!
Sounds good, gentlemen.
You're ready, dude. I hope you're ready. It's intense.
Well, thanks, guys.
Yeah, man, I had a blast. Awesome time, awesome trip, awesome live stream.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely. Thanks everybody out there. Part of the conversation in the chat. We really appreciate all the support. Thanks again to our sponsor, Apex Giant, for all the great stuff that they do. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Ben.
And we'll see you guys down the trail. Thanks so much. Be well.